And welcome to the Morning Spike. We talk about all your fantasy pro IDP questions. We take on all your football news, anything that comes on every week. We always talk about them on Sunday. I'm here with Mark from Dynasty Pylon. How's it going,
Hello,
Mark?
hello. Going good. How about yourself?
Guys, that is not Tank. That is Mark.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
make sure
Not Tank.
everyone knows that.
Right.
How's your week been going?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Just school.
Hey,
About
always
it.
got school stuff.
Yeah. Biology. So much fun.
Yeah. You said chemistry, I'm all with you, but biology, that's where you lose me.
Yeah. Yeah. Lost myself too. Didn't realize it was going to be it's probably one of the hardest classes I think I've ever taken. More so because of the professor, but
that actually means a lot. When you have a professor, they have to have one that actually makes sense and you can actually understand and cares about if you know or that you're following. It's so hard.
Yep.
All right. Well, we're talking about defense today. So my first question to you is, I want to know about Jesse Bates. What do you think is going on with Cincinnati?
I heard. Well, they drafted a safety. I felt like they knew this was coming, so I think they kind of covered their butts in that aspect because they drafted a pretty good safety. I think they're feeling out trade offers. I heard 7 locations he could land. Philly being number 1. Don't want him to go there at all.
It makes the most sense, though. I was going to say.
Yeah, and I know we're on the list too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, from a team standpoint, I'd be like thrilled to have Jesse Bates because he's a heck of a player. But from a fantasy standpoint, I have Cam Curl, and I'm not sure how that affects. Well, last year they had a 3-man rotation with Collins, Bobby McCain, and Cam Curl. And then I feel like if you bring Jesse Bates in, the same thing's going to happen. And I have Cam Curl on my dynasty team.
Oh.
And his rookie year, when Collins got hurt, he balled out. So I'm like, just give this man a chance.
And they're like, no. We got any other NFL news that we have? We should go over.
I was just looking at that and I didn't see much. Darius Leonard starts camp on the PUP list. Cool.
There's a lot of people going on the PUP list. Yeah. I'm so surprised.
Bakhtari's on the PUP list.
Yeah, I mean, I was happy for that one, but not that I'm happy he's hurt. But I'm happy that he's not, ready to practice. I need him to have the amount of time with Aaron Rodgers as possible.
Yeah. And it says NFL still monitoring Kamara battery case. Mm-hmm. So he might actually be able to start the season before his suspension comes in.
I think we should know now it's all being pushed back to next season.
Could be too. Could very well be too. You think that and Watson or?
No, I think Watson we're going to hear coming the next couple of days, but I think because of Watson that the NFL is not going to deal with. They don't want more negative press. Yeah, like more battery, more of these things, and they're like, we're gonna do one. So
yeah, I can see that. Unfortunately,
and so Kamara, he's falling on everyone's draft board. It's probably in the starting the season, probably play the whole season, and then next year get a 6-game suspension. Just like unfortunately, looks like Deshaun's gonna get a 6-game suspension. I don't even understand this anymore.
Yeah, I don't even care. I think with the threat of being sued, it really changed the NFL's minds about their 1-year suspension. Because as soon as that popped up, I kept hearing 6 to 8 games, 6 to 8 games, 6 to 8 games, and I'm like,
collectively bargained, and they're like, if you can't prove it's worse than anything else that anyone else has done, he's going to get the same. I don't know, maybe whatever. I'm not even sure what side I'm on with that, honestly.
I'm not sure either, to be honest. Although I think it's funny that he settled with 22 women, but the Texans settled with over 30 women.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a minute here.
Where are these other people coming? Where did he get this from? I don't know.
And are the Texans going to get in trouble for any of this? That's what I want to know.
They do. You know,
I know they don't go after their owners.
I don't know. This is gonna be interesting. But yeah, I'm surprised all the pub lists that we are going out right now. All these stars are. If you're on the pub list now, they can reactivate you before the season.
Yeah, I think at any time when your injury heals and you're returned to practice, you can be activated.
So what's the point of putting you on the pub list? Is it extending your
because it takes you off the active roster,
so you can have more people week to week as they got cut through training camp.
But it's better than being on the IR because if you put people on the IR, yeah, it's like week 8 or something like that, or you have to miss like 8 weeks.
It's nuts.
The freaking Ravens have like over 10 people on the pup list. I was like, good.
I was like, well, they have like no running backs. Like
yeah,
all the running backs are on the pup list.
Running backs, quarterbacks.
But we don't have anybody on offense. Don't worry about it. Look like the Bears roster. I was like, man, you want to spend $58 million on offense too? It's crazy.
Yeah, and that's going to double just because of one player, probably.
Exactly.
Freaking Lamar over there representing himself.
I mean, what do you think about Kyler?
I talked to a bunch of people that live here that are diehard Cardinals fans, and like they all tell me all the time, like, do you talk about Kyler on your show? And I'm like, oh yeah, all the time. They're like, oh, you need to tell people that we need to get rid of him. And I'm like, you guys just seem to think franchise quarterbacks just grow on trees. And you can get another one. And I'm like, no, you're not going to be able to get another quarterback like Kyler Murray. Like, you need to keep him. He's like, I can't stand him. And I'm like,
the second richest contract for a quarterback. I mean, the number surprised me.
It's what it takes to keep people these days. But the funny thing is by the time, like a year from now, he'll be like the 10th highest paid quarterback. So, because all these other quarterbacks, like Joe Burrow, will be up. He's clearly going to get more than Kyler Murray. I think it's interesting that he only got 160 guaranteed.
Well, I think that's what the team did. They said instead of giving you can have whatever you want a year, but we're not going to guarantee it for more than 3 years.
So that just means that despite because I heard after Watson signed his contract that people were like, oh great, this is what we're going to have to do now is guarantee people like $250 million. But then they only guarantee, like, it's a huge contract, but only 160. I was like, oh, that's not bad.
I think that was a compromise for them because I mean, they're not sure.
Yeah, I think so. I think that is why he got as high a number he did. Because I think if he wanted fully guaranteed, he would have been lucky to get like 30 a year.
Yeah, who the hell would give him 45 million? I mean, he's literally besides Aaron Rodgers, it's Aaron Rodgers and Kyler Murray. Like what? That's nuts.
I think it finally puts the ball in. Oh, here you go. We got the Cardinals fan in here, man, in the chair. Oh, it's because Bidwell doesn't have the liquid cash to fully guarantee the contract.
I know, and that's what you have to take that money. You have to put it in the I don't know, it's an escrow account, whatever. You have to be able to fund that contract when you sign these contracts.
Yep. And that's why people like the Rams and the Broncos now can probably do stuff like that because they got that Walmart money.
Well, does that kind of make you think about the Bengals then? You talk about Joe Burrow.
Oh, the Bengals are in a tough spot because they historically don't even give out big contracts. So,
I mean, they don't have an indoor facility. They share with the Cincinnati Bearcats. So I don't even know like where are they going to get money? I mean, he doesn't have money, and they actually are finally giving people good contracts. If you have to have liquid cash to be able to support these contracts, I don't know what's going to happen.
No. There's some teams that are going to be left in the cold with some of their players because they're just not going to have the funds to be able. I don't even know. I guess freaking Haslam must be rich in freaking Cleveland doing that much money to Deshaun Watson.
I mean, I think Cleveland changed recently, but they're paying everybody. So
look at Martin taking time out of his Busy day serving the country.
He's probably driving back and forth right now.
Oh, that is what he's doing.
He pulled over, guys, before you.
Yeah, he pulled over for that. Yeah. Yep, and he says the Bengals won't be able to fully guarantee Burrow's contract. And they are actually building an indoor facility right now. But it's crazy that it took this long, though. And there you go. Haslam is worth $3.8 billion. Well, I guess $240 million isn't that much to him.
He was like, let me go on my couch cushion. I got that. Hold on.
Right. Right.
Because I think you have to be able to. You don't have to have all that money, but you have to put in 50% of it or something like that into the account, and you have to justify the contract, and that's a lot of liquid funds to have to put up.
It really is.
Well,
it really is. Right? Can you imagine just being able to put someone's just not even anyone's account, just a random account that has $240 million in it, just sitting there, just in case you decide you're gonna release somebody or something.
But does that make you think about what's going to happen with Jamar Chase then? I mean, I know we're talking about 2-3 years down the road. If Jamar Chase has another year like he had last year, he's going to be looking for an extension because he's on a rookie contract. How are they going to be able to pay Chase and Burrow?
It's a good question. That's going to be a lot of money. You're looking at almost $100 million a season just for those two.
I think by the time Burrow signs his contract, we're talking about 50 to 55 million guaranteed per year, and a good receiver is going to cost you somewhere between 30 and 32. That's now. So I mean, we're talking about $90 million for two people.
Yeah. Well, that's what someone posted on a thing that I followed, and they said, "Would you rather have Kyler Murray, or for the same amount of money, you could have Carson Wentz, Scary Terry, Jahan Dotson, and Logan Thomas?"
Any list on Carson Wentz, I'm off on.
I know. But it was just crazy that those four players make the same amount of money as Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray, I know.
And I was like, oof. This kind of puts it in perspective. And that's crazy because Carson Wentz be making $30 million this year.
That's why I'm thinking, wasn't Carson Wentz to have a big contract too? I mean,
yeah. Well, this year he makes $30 million, but then it goes down to less than $20 million the last 2 years.
Well, I don't think he's going to be on your team. I think you're going to have Heineke's going to be there by that time. I think he's going to be back starting by that time.
I think the kid from North Carolina, Sam Howell, will be there before Heineke.
Really? I was talking about this season. I think
this season?
Sam. Yeah. I don't think he's going to make it to the full season. Because I think what's going to happen is Washington's going to look at their team and going to say, our defense is Super Bowl ready. We have enough pieces around, and somehow we're not winning these games. And they'll say, where's the only thing that we can change? And that's just, I don't believe that he's a winner. I don't know. Carson Wentz is just not in my eyes. And I feel like when you have a team that should be competing for a division and they're not winning games, if they turn around, they're 3-6, they're going to be like, all right.
Well, I think us staying healthy will have something to say too, because I feel like every year we have the last 3 years, going into the off season and the new season, it's like, okay, we're making moves, we're doing the right thing. We're gonna have a team that competes, and then by week 8, we have 50 people on the IR, and I'm like, well, can't compete with the team with 50 freaking people. And we had a game against the Cowboys where we didn't suit up a single linebacker because they were all either COVID or hurt.
Yeah, I actually remember that game.
Didn't have a single linebacker. And I was like, that's cool.
I just don't know. So, Washington last year was so underachieving last year. It
was very disappointing.
Yeah.
But see, this is one thing I get it. We were underachieving, but I feel like we were still in those football games. And then the defense got right. We won a couple games, and then we just I don't know, we fell apart. But I think that's because we had injuries. Because when you got I said, 4-string tight ends, and
I was gonna say it was when your tight ends and your running backs towards the end of the season just all fell apart, and then so that just hurt. So your defense at the beginning of the season, and then your offense, weapons in the end of the season. And I just don't think adding Carson Wentz is going to help that.
Maybe it's me because I'm a homer and I'm a glass half full guy, but I feel like this could be Carson's best year just because he's never had weapons like he has this year.
He did when he was in Philadelphia and
don't know. I've watched
to the Super Bowl.
Plenty of articles where they're like, because I was like argue that Carson Wentz hasn't had weapons like he does now, and everyone the first thing they say is Alshon Jeffrey, and they're like, don't even give me that crap. They're like, Alshon Jeffrey in Philly was not the Alshon Jeffrey that was in Chicago.
He was when Nick Foles was throwing the ball. I'm just saying.
But even that year, though, but that one
Carson Wentz had an amazing year.
He had his best year
that year, though. But I think it's when they realize you're not a great leader. And that's what the biggest thing. Someone else is going to step up as a great leader.
And I think this is the best offensive line he's had since that year. That's
not even a question. I think you guys have a really good offensive line.
So
imagine what you would have had it with Trent Williams.
Oh, I know. Trust me, that's the one thing that really hurts is that guy got let go.
You had the best left tackle in all the game.
Yep, trust me. I was like this close to being like, I'm going to get an offensive lineman's jersey. And then all that happened. Then I was like, thank God I did not get that offensive lineman's jersey.
This is a reminder every year.
Because he's going to go in the Hall of Fame and he's going to be like, I'm going to go in as a 49er because screw that team. Because he left on not so good conditions, unfortunately.
I know they didn't even let him play the last year. I understood why that 1 year, but they to not re-sign him.
Yeah. Oh no, he didn't play because he sat out. It wasn't because we didn't let him play.
I thought they didn't want him. Oh,
no, he held out because he was pissed off, and then they were trying to reach a contract, but they couldn't, and so they ended up shipping him to the 49ers.
I know everyone says
it's Carson's year.
See? I see you guys, but did he not have talent on Indianapolis last year?
They had the 30th ranked.
Not have talent.
I don't think I'm not that high. See, I'm not Martin. I'm not that high on the
JT,
the offense. They can run the ball, but that has nothing to do with Carson. He's just handing it off.
They had the offensive line was great, and then he got there, and all of a
they
sudden
were great at run off. They were good. They were great at run blocking. They were 30th ranked pass blocking team last year.
No, I agree. But I think part of that's because he holds on to the ball,
and I don't disagree with that.
It's just like when I look at Justin Fields. I always go back to Chicago, obviously, but like the offensive line is bad. But if you hold on to the ball all day, that there's no way they're going to. He holds
on to the ball, and then he tries to make these plays to like extend the drive, and he'll like throw cross body, and then he does unfortunately fumble the ball. But I also feel like that comes down to coaching too.
Yeah, but I mean, you tell him to get the ball out your hand,
which isn't that good for us either because God knows Taylor. But see, I'm used to this because we had Taylor Heineke last year, and that was a venture every time he dropped back. So
as you know, Washington and Chicago have never had a good quarterback in 30 years. So we understand the hurt, but I just don't know if we can do it.
But we broke him after his rookie year, so
yeah.
We're not allowed to have fun toys. Oh, we have this dynamic quarterback named RG3. No, he broke after 1 year.
It was a great toy. Oh, it's broken.
And then we finally actually had a decent quarterback, and then they were like, "Nah, we don't want to pay him money. You can go to the Vikings." Like, dude threw like he had our record 4,900 passing yards in a year, and they're like,
I didn't think anything of him either. But you know what? Kirk Cousins, even being what he is still better quarterback than I've ever seen in Chicago. So it's not like I as much hate as I throw to Kirk Cousins, if he signed with Chicago 5 years ago, I would have a Kirk Cousins jersey on right now.
Right. And see, that's now. The problem too, is like when he was with us, you were kind of like, all right, I guess. And then when he leaves and you had the parade of people we had, it was like, man, I kind of miss Cousins now. Like, I wish we had that guy again.
Everyone wants to have a top 5 quarterback, and you don't realize if you have a number 12 quarterback, that's okay because it's better than having a 30th ranked quarterback. You're not going to always get that.
And if you have a 12th ranked quarterback, they're only making $20-30 million a season. Leaves more money for the rest of the team. Yeah.
Oh no, I mean Kirk Cousins has been getting paid ridiculous amount of money, so I don't know.
So, like, I don't know. I understand where all the bad stuff comes when people don't like Carson Wentz. I get it. But when you are like quarterback stars like we are, you're like, hey, I'll take a Carson Wentz. Be like, it's not any worse than what we've already had. So
it's only going to go up from here. It doesn't matter.
Right. I mean, even if he throws
He
for
has
like
good numbers, though.
4,000 yards, 30 touchdowns, and like 20 interceptions, I'm like, that's still better than what we had.
Well, I think his touchdown to interception ratio will be good. I think it's the timeliness of his mistakes.
Yeah.
It's like he starts the game off and he's doing fine, and then the third quarter comes out and he throws an interception, and then the fourth quarter comes back and the game's on the line. He throws 3 interceptions. Like, I don't understand.
No,
like, what are
true.
you doing? And why are you throwing?
I have him on my fantasy team, and I told me Braden used to give me he makes fun of me all the time because like I would start him because I had no other quarterback, and he would have like 22 points by the end of the first half every week, and I'm like, heck yeah, we're balling. And then he ends up with 18 points. No lie. 18 points. I'm like, what are you doing in the second half of these games, Carson? Like, you freaking have 22 points, and then you end the game with 18. Like, why?
He's like, all right, I came out with 2 more interceptions and a fumble.
Yep.
He fumbles on like the 8-yard line every game. I don't understand how he does it. But it just...
Or like game's on the line, tie game, and I'm just going to shovel pass it right to the defender for their touchdown.
I'm going to Ryan Tannehill this.
But see, this is where it's crazy. He does that, and then they get the ball back with like 40 seconds, and he takes them down the field to tie the game. And you're just like, where was this Carson Wentz on the last drive? We would have won instead of going into overtime, where they ultimately lost because they couldn't stop it. They couldn't stop them in the overtime. But I'm like, interesting. So you'll be like, hands on your head, like, why'd you do that? To like, dang, you're like the best quarterback in the league right now.
But you know what? And that's I think that's the problem when you have a quarterback who has all the talent in the world that might not have the leadership capabilities that you want. Because when no one expects anything of you, then that's when you're going ahead and you're able to do whatever. As soon as they're like, oh, don't worry about it, Carson got it. Nope, falls apart.
Right.
All right, so we're supposed to be talking about defense.
Yeah, I was going to say, we better.
Defense.
We're already at 30 minutes almost, so we haven't even talked about anything.
All right, so let's talk about the fantasy defense top ones for 2022. What do you have? Who do you think are the top 10?
I clicked on quite a few pages, and the number one at least was pretty unanimous. I think everyone I clicked had the Buffalo Bills.
Yep.
As the number one defense, and I can see why. Bringing people like Von Miller, captain with the people they already have, with White at the corner. They're both like 2 all-pro caliber safeties with Pryor and oh my God, what's the other one? The other safety.
Oh my God,
he's really good too. I can't remember his name. I'm no good.
Oh my gosh, this is terrible.
Yeah, it's very terrible. I feel god awful right now for not knowing this dude's name. Braden, what's the other guy?
Braden, you're supposed to be helping us.
Right.
Poyer?
I said Poyer, but then they have the other one.
Oh my God. Michael Hyde.
Hyde, yeah, see? I'm like, so stupid.
What am I talking about?
He's really good. They're both all pro caliber players. And I'm like, I cannot think of your name.
I mean, it's a good defense. It's a good defense together.
Whack the Carson, though, I do agree with, assuming this is Tank. Yeah, he has to prove it this year. He's done. Yeah. This will be his last year if he doesn't. Unless he ends up with the Texans, but which is what Tank said. But he's definitely on a make it or break it.
Now he'll be in the NFL somewhere doing, backing up for the next 10 years. Because you have good talent, and he's going to be someone if the defense is not, studying, game planning for, coming off the bench, he's going to be hard to defend. So,
yeah,
no expectations again. That's all he needs. Right. No expectations. Are you surprised? I'm surprised that the Dallas is what I've been seeing at number 2 a lot.
Yep, that's who I had at number 2. That one's kind of all over the place though, because I saw Dallas, I saw Tampa, 49ers.
49ers, yeah, that's what.
There's some crazy people who had the Broncos at number 2. I'm like, no, that's a bit high.
How?
Yeah, it's a bit high. Only because I mean, the only reason I can see them being up there is like I can see with the way their offense is built that they can definitely outpossess people. Because you got Russ who doesn't make mistakes, and they have 2 bruising running backs that can just run all over people. So in that regard, I could see that their defense won't be on the field as much.
But does that really help you for fantasy? I guess not scoring a lot of points to be
that's what I'll say. Not allowing a lot of points is how I could see them getting most of their points. But I mean, they have Patrick Surtain the second on one side, and he's a dynamic playmaker. And they have Simmons, obviously. But other than that, I mean,
I actually thought that Denver needed another guy.
Yeah. Well, they don't really have they got rid of Von Miller, and I don't think. I mean, they have Chubb, but he's hurt all the time.
All the time. Like, well, if you hear, he pulled his hamstring again.
Right. So I mean, they don't have that. I don't think they have that guy to get to the quarterback.
And that's what you need. You need that,
and that could be very bad, especially in that division.
I mean, Gregory helps out from when you get the will, but because they do
have Randy Gregory, but
yeah. So I mean, but I still think you need another rush. So if you're Denver, why don't you come knock on our door? We got one of those rushes that you could use.
Robert. Oh, they could use that.
If you want Robert Quinn, we're not asking for a lot either. Give me a second and a 6. You got a second and third for Vaughn. So I'm saying, give me a second and a 6. We'll be okay.
I think you have a problem though. I think people will be very hesitant to take on that guy's contract. It's a lot of money. It's like 17 million, isn't it?
People are smart.
So they'll take it, but they'll be like, "Hey, what up, Anthony?"
I'm going to take my dog to the vet with the wife so I can listen. I want to show you guys some love. Drop a like. I appreciate it.
Appreciate that, man. Absolutely.
Well, yeah,
I don't know. I think with that, it's like 17 million. I think he counts towards the cap.
Yep. Yeah,
I think because of that, you'd be lucky to get a fourth, and maybe a 5th or a 6th.
You have to have someone who's going to want it, who's going to really. Because I mean, Von Miller cost a lot. It was 21 million last year.
What you need, but that's Von Miller. He's done it more consistently. He's done it more consistently than Robert Quinn.
If Robert Quinn had 18.5 sacks last year, if he starts the season with 4 sacks, come on down. We're taking your number. Everyone, come on. The price is right. Let's see. I think
what you need is you need more than one team to want it, so they can bid against each other, and that would be what I'm saying.
Kansas City and Denver, go ahead against each other, guys. One of you guys need this. Where's my Khalil Mack poster? This is what you do when you get our old stuff. I'm telling you guys. You're getting 10 to 15 sacks next season for Khalil Mack. This is what you can get. He
wound up in the best case scenario, I think, being on the opposite side of Joey Bosa.
Who do you double?
Exactly. Exactly.
I'm actually surprised the Chargers are as low as they are. They're 12th on most lists. Getting a great safety, getting 2 rushes that are crazy. I think they could do something. I just think they're in a hard division.
Yeah. Well, I think Broncos would definitely be best to probably get Robert Quinn, because I think that would be the one thing they're missing, and that could turn that whole defense into a top 5 defense. You add him with the corners and then Simmons on the other side or in the middle. That could be what they're missing.
I don't know. I'm all for them. I'm telling you, I need a lot of people that want this fit. I want the Patriots to want him. I want
or actually, you know how you could get a higher draft pick? You could be like, we'll still pay half his salary.
I mean, we could do that. Honestly.
And you could do it. Yeah, you could.
We can actually do that. We're not paying them anybody.
Look, see, this is exactly why I suggested that too, because Braid said there are only 5 teams with over 17 million in cap space, and the Bears are one of them. And I know we are too, but we're not gonna try to get Quinn.
You don't need you need a rush. But you need getting a rush An agent rush like that means you're going for the Super Bowl. That's what that is. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if we have. Well, we might have room for him for like the first couple games because I don't think Chase is actually going to be ready.
I think
in the season.
I think that's what's going to hurt you guys this year. And my win total for you guys was lower because I think you're not going to get Chase back. Even when you do, I think you're not going to get the Chase.
Yeah. No, I
Chase
agree.
Young, what you're going to get. And I think that's why I had you guys down at 8 wins. Because
we only have 13.3.
We can make it work.
Did we just do something? We just looked at it the other day, Braden, and I swear to God, for this year we had like 22 or something.
No matter. Braden, he just changes it up for you guys. What about the Rams being 9? Almost out of the top 10.
It's weird, too, because if you just go like defensive ranks for 2022, the Rams are like 1 or 2. But then when you go fantasy, they drop substantially towards the back. Like I got 9 right here on mine. Like that's crazy to me.
I have 9 on mine too. I'm like, I don't understand how. Like,
okay, so their top corner doesn't get fantasy points because no one throws his way.
Throws to him. Okay, yeah.
I feel like the only one who actually gets points would be Donald, but even he gets like doubled and triple teamed at the time.
Which doesn't matter because he still gets his sacks and tackles.
Yeah,
because he's just that much better than everybody else.
But yeah,
I mean, Leonard Floyd did pretty good fantasy wise last year.
Who was that? Sorry,
Leonard Floyd did.
Oh, Floyd, yeah.
Floyd, he ran into like everything. But as they were running away from Donald, he just kind of ran right into him, and they tripped over his dead body for 11 sacks. I don't know how.
And apparently, if your name's Leonard, you become a good linebacker. Whether it's your first name or last name.
So Brady says, so the Browns, the Cowboys, the Raiders, the Panthers, and the Bears. The Browns still have that much money? Oh, because they're only paying.
That's only $1 million. Yeah, but the next
only $1
million. The next year they're negative cap space. It's great.
That is crazy.
Not as much as the Saints are every freaking year because they're like for next year's cap they're already projected like negative 60 or something like that.
Which is crazy because the cap is going up. The cap number is going up like $10 million next year.
And in 2 years, it's projected to go over 20. I was like,
and that's the first time the Saints might be able to get underneath it.
Yeah.
Without restructuring something, kicking the can down the road.
Yeah, the Raiders still have over 20 million in cap space. Interesting.
All right, so I mean, I'm just saying, Las Vegas, if you want a guy, we got one for you. If you need him, I'll send you guys tape and everything, so you'll be good.
Yeah. Look at that, 48 million this year, and then next year goes to negative 32.8. That's great.
That's awesome. All right, so these were my top 10. We got the Bills, Cowboys, Bucks, 49ers, Broncos, Patriots, Colts, Dolphins, Rams, Saints.
We must be on the same thing because that's exactly what I had too.
Yes.
And then you got Baltimore, the Chargers. I think the Chargers could be a sleeper defense.
That's why I said. I look at their team. Their team is really good.
I don't know how they're 12, to be honest.
When you look at Joey Bosa, look at
Khalil Mack,
J.C. Jackson, Derwin James, Asante Samuel still there.
Yep.
The nickel cornerback Bryce Callahan, I know a lot about him. I like him. They have a lot of guys.
Well, they drafted Samuel last year, and then they bring in J.C. Jackson this year, and I'm like, well, you solidified your corners in 2 years. You already have one of the top safeties. I mean, I think they're like a solid middle linebacker away from being a great defense.
Yep.
But, I mean, they still have serviceable middle linebackers, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to get there. I mean, I don't even know how you throw on this team.
Right?
Like,
That's what I'm
you
saying.
literally have to dink and dunk on them. That's the only thing you can do.
Pretty much. I mean, they have both sides covered. They got the back covered. Like, it's going to be scary. That's why I think it's weird that they're 12, unless they just don't think they're going to put up points. But
no, how can you not want to think that? I mean, it doesn't make Khalil Mack is going to get the most sacks he's had since he was with the Raiders, I think. Like he's going to really blow up this year because you can't double team him and let Joey Bosa.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like they'll alternate. Like, oh, Joey has a huge game. Well, the next game they're like, we got to double him, and then Khalil Mack has a big game. Then Joey has a big game. Khalil Mack, and they're like, crap. What do we do?
That's exactly how I see it. Like, I mean, they have other guys there. What's his name? From the Giants. The Giants, they signed a nose tackle who is going to put good pressure on there. I'm just feeling like they're going to start collapsing the pocket so quickly that they have to throw the ball, and then they have two great corners and a safety that's going to be a ball hawk. It just, I feel like that's going to rise up. And that's why I think the Chargers are going to be a sneaky team even for the Super Bowl next year.
Oh, I think so.
This year. You know, I love Justin Herbert.
They have a chance to have like a top 5 defense and top 5 offense. So
the only thing that can hurt them is that having that division. That division is just going to be so terrible. It'll be so hard.
Although I hope they hold on to Keenan Allen. I heard he could be on the trade block.
Wow.
Because I think this is his last year of his contract, and I don't think they have the money to re-sign him.
Yeah, because he's going to want what if you get Williams $22 million, he's going to.
That's what I said. They just signed Williams 22. I don't think they want to reserve 25 to 30 for Keenan because he deserves more than Williams.
Yeah, exactly. So I still. Do you think Mike Williams is a good number one?
I liked Mike Williams coming out of college, and then he did really good his rookie year, and then he fell off, and then they brought Herbert in, and all of a sudden Mike Williams was like the Mike Williams of old again.
Yeah,
because like I picked him up in a redraft league off waivers.
Waivers
after week 1, he's just sitting there. And I was like, I'll pick this guy up because I need another receiver. And he ended up being like my wide receiver 1. So that should show you how far off he fell.
How old is Keenan Allen?
Keenan Allen, I think, is 31 or 32.
And who's going to pay
26?
Who's going to pay a 32-year-old wide receiver $25 million?
I'm sure someone will. The Jaguars absolutely would. What are you talking about?
I saw that they offered you a contract for $18 million. Yeah. We ever heard of you? Come on. How much money you got? We'll add $15 million to it. Don't worry.
Right. There you go. We got you. We give Christian Kirk like $25 million.
Still.
Good Lord.
It's just a joke.
Like, well, watching the same games that we were. Von Allen is only 30. So I was off. So he's like the same age as Devontae Adams.
So he's 30. No, you're right. So he's 30. Next year, he's going to be 31 going to his year 32 season.
Mm-hmm.
So you're still right. He'll still be 32 that season.
Yeah, because I think he's turning 31 during this year.
During the season.
So then when he becomes a free agent, he will be going into his year 32 season.
Year 32 season. And you're going to be paying them $25 to $30 million going to year 32, which no one in their right mind would do.
25 would be like the lighter end of his scale, too. But I just don't think the 49ers want to tie up almost $50 million on just 2 guys who play receiver.
Yeah, no, there's no one going to do that.
You just don't want to do that. Yeah, no one wants to do that.
Especially if you got to pay your quarterback. You just don't.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Plus, I got to think about Herbert because, that guy's contract coming up.
That's what I'm saying. After next year, they're talking extension. Oh, it's through 2024.
Oh, so never mind. Maybe they did re-sign him. Oh.
Thanks to the guy in the chair. Awesome.
I don't know. Right. I just heard he could be on the trade block.
I want to talk about some IDP guys.
All right.
So
you want to start with the line and work the way up, or start with the DBs and work our way down?
Let's do the defensive line first.
All right.
So let's really just cover just the top 5 is what I'm thinking. Because the first tier is what, top 4 or 5?
Interesting.
Who do you have as the number 1 defensive lineman in?
For me personally, I would say TJ Watt. I think that guy's going to get another 15 plus sacks. I think he'll, because One, I think they'll be on the field a lot more than they're used to. Because their offense, I don't know. I just think TJ Watt's going to have another good year. I think he has another 2-3 decent years in him, and then he'll start to come down a little bit because of age. I think he's like, 27 right now?
27 now, yeah. It's hard for me to imagine a world where the best lineman, defensive end in the NFL is not the number one guy on everyone's list. And that's Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett is the best defensive lineman in the NFL, not named Aaron Donald.
Oh, I don't disagree, but we're talking about fantasy points.
He gets decent numbers too.
But that's the problem, just decent. TJ
had a great year. He had a great year. So
he's had a good couple of years. If he could stay healthy for the whole year, oh my God, this guy would be insane. But that's his big downfall is like he misses 2 to 3 games a year, it feels like.
And Myles Garrett does it though. But
he still doesn't put up the same numbers.
Yeah, and honestly, on my list, I have Nick Bosa's on number 1.
Yeah, I have a lot of Nick Bosa's high on a lot of ones I saw, and I said they must think he's coming back to form.
I mean, he's 24 years old. He's so young.
Well, last year he was coming off his injury, so I think this is why I have the base Chase Young off of because like when Nick Bosa first came back, he did not look like the Nick Bosa of his rookie year. But then towards the end of the year, though, he was like dominant. I think that was one of the reasons they made it as far as they did, is because Nick Bosa was suddenly like back to that dominant form.
But isn't that what happens though? Like, it takes you 5-6 games to really understand, have the NFL speed, and remember how you dominated before. That's why I think what's going to happen with Chase Young.
Especially Chase Young's case, where you miss OTAs, you miss training camp, you miss preseason. Like, oh, you come back like week 2, and you're like, well, you haven't done anything. You can't expect that much from the guy.
Yeah,
it'll take a little while to get back to game speed.
And I think it's going to probably take to week 8 for Chase Young, and then by that he's going to start dominating. But is it too late?
I don't think so. We have an easy enough schedule that even if we go 500 when he comes back,
I worry about your schedule, man. Well, I worried about your division. I think Philadelphia's a lot better than everyone's giving credit for. I think Philadelphia.
I think so, but I don't believe in Jalen Hurts. If you can stop Jalen Hurts from running the ball, I think you can stop the Eagles.
Maybe
it'll be a low-scoring game because their defense is.
You don't even have to. No, but they have AJ Brown now. Like it's just, I mean,
he'll eat Chipotle and be gone for 3 weeks. It's fine. I'm sending him like a bunch of Chipotle.
That's only in Tennessee.
Us twice.
Only in Tennessee. He'll be all right. Watched it.
I'm shipping him Chipotle like a week before he plays Washington both times.
Don't
worry, it's all me. It's all me, AJ.
You're gonna send him 1,000 gift cards, like
score
every day.
All the Chipotle on me. You knock yourself out, man. And then just in case, here's some Taco Bell ones too.
You guys still do something with Devontae too. I mean, they have hella weapons, and their defense has gotten a lot better. Only thing I think about,
they had just as many weapons last year, and Jalen Hurts couldn't throw the ball.
I think AJ Brown changes it because the type of receiver he is. When you have a quarterback who's not as accurate, because we all know what Jalen Hurts isn't. He's not an accurate QB. That's just not. But he could throw the ball close to him, and you have a big body guy who's going to be able to grab, has that good catch radius. I think that changes everything with the Eagles. So now he can run, and now if he gets in trouble, there's a guy he could throw to. Just throw it up, and AJ Brown's going to catch it. If you don't believe me, his quarterback was Ryan Tannehill, who doesn't play quarterback. He's a receiver. I don't care what anyone says. He's a receiver. That's how good he was.
I don't know. He better figure it out quick, though, because Philly fans will turn on him quick.
Either he figures out this year, or they're going to draft a guy next year. That's
for sure.
And next year's.
I already have a Philly fan that I was just hanging with the other day, and he was like, "I don't like my coach, and I don't like my quarterback." And I was like, "You said this like 3 years ago with Carson Wentz and Doug Peterson after they won you a Super Bowl. How am I not shocked?" Like, oh, these guys got me to the Super Bowl. I don't want them anymore. I'm telling you.
I don't know. I feel like Philly's going to be really good during the regular season and be
When
terrible
your
in the
own
playoffs.
fans don't even believe in you, I mean, I'm just saying.
No one in Philly believes in anybody.
I know Philly is a whole different animal, but
they don't believe in Rocky. It took Rocky Balboa like
right.
18 rounds to be able to even win them over. Come on. If you can't believe in Rocky, come on.
That is true. So,
so
what top defensive lineman do you have? Because on most sites, I have Aaron Donald number 1, which I get it. He's probably the best defensive player in the league, but like
he's not. I have Aaron Donald like 8.
Interesting.
So Bosa, Watt, Garrett, Chase Young is. I believe in him. I've always liked him. I just don't think this is the year for him. But that's where everyone has him. Then Joey Bosa and Daniel Hunter and Brian Burns.
Oh, you're gonna have Chase Young in the top 20.
Really?
Yeah. I don't even have Chase Young. My first player is Montez Sweat.
Wow. I still think Chase Young is going to be an amazing guy.
I think next year will be his year. I think next year will be his year. But I have Aaron Donald, T.J. Watt, Nick Bosa, Harold Landry from Tennessee, Miles
Really,
Garrett.
Landry that high? Landry?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then Miles Garrett, Hassan Reddick from Philly,
All right.
Joey Bosa, Danielle Hunter, Chandler Jones, Sam Hubbard. Sam Hubbard? Really?
You don't have Max Crosby yet?
Max Crosby is 20.
Wow.
Oh, there's Chase Young. He's 19. I must have just totally skimmed over him. Max Crosby, Chase Young, DeMarcus Lawrence, Brian Burns, Shaquille Barrett, Robert Quinn.
Burns is that low?
Yeah, that makes no sense. You know what's crazy? On my dynasty team, I got TJ Watt and Brian Burns.
What?
Yeah. And Darius Leonard. I got Nick Bolton. My defense. Me and Martin talk about how stacked our defenses are all the time.
I thought Martin's defense was nasty. I'm like, what?
Yeah, we both apparently went all in when it came to defense. So I'm just happy I got Kyle Hamilton in the draft.
What?
Yep.
They let you get Kyle Hamilton
in the second round, like at the end of the second round too. All offensive people were flying, and I was like, well, I'm not going to need a receiver, so I'll get Kyle Hamilton.
That doesn't make any sense. What I think about Kyle Hamilton, so.
Oh, I know. Same way I do. I was excited when he was there. I was like, no brainer. Sign me up. I thought he should have been a top 5 pick in the draft. I don't know how
exactly. Talent-wise. I mean, I understand it's fit, but when you have a great player like that, you make it fit.
Right. I don't think he's going to see the field too much this year, though. I think next year will be his year.
We'll get back to that. I want to hear about what you got for linebackers, but you don't see.
Mine's weird. I have Jordan Brooks as number 1.
Really?
Yeah.
I have Jordan Brooks as 5. Yeah, I got Roquan as number 1.
Oops, that's not what I want. You got to pay money for that. No one's paying money for you. All right, so we go to this one. I actually have Roquan Smith number 1 on this one. And then you got Micah Parsons, which is crazy because TJ Watt is a defensive lineman / linebacker because he plays that outside 3-4 linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Micah Parsons is actually a linebacker / defensive lineman because he plays in a 4-3, but he still gets what did he get, 12, 13 sacks last year?
But they brought him down to the defensive end, which they're going to do, obviously, in rush cases. Put your nickel out there, move out your old defensive end, let Micah Parsons go ahead and jump in at the end then.
Oh, I think we have the same list because aren't you on Fantasy Pros?
Mm-hmm.
That's where I'm at. So I have Roquan, Micah Parsons, Devin White, which I don't know. After last year, yeah, I think it's a little high. I get it after his rookie year, he deserved to be that high. But after last year, I'm like, I don't know. We have like a 50-50 chance he's not going to be good. I think this guy's really low. Fred Warner is ranked 6th.
Which I think he's like 3.
Yeah, I think he should be at least 1, 2, or 3. And then they got TJ Watt listed as a linebacker.
Which I don't understand that either, but I guess whatever.
And then we got Foy, Aloakon, Devondre Campbell, Logan Wilson, Eric Hendricks.
There you go. Do you think it's going to be a rookie?
Bobby Wagner all the way at 12.
Do you think it's going to be a rookie that's going to be able to come in and jump in this list?
I have a second-year guy I think can jump into the top 5.
Who?
Nick Bolton, Kansas City.
Bolton.
I'm really high on him. Devin Lloyd in Jacksonville. That's a rookie to look out for.
Especially in Jacksonville. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. If it wasn't for his injury issues, I would say Nakobe Dean would be another one.
If he was ready and I was going to be sure that he'll be ready, then I agree. But I don't know if he's going to be ready.
I just don't know if he's even going to be able to participate in anything. Because he was like, I don't want to get surgery. And that's why he fell, by the way. He has a shoulder injury that teams wanted him to get surgery on, and he said he didn't.
And he's like, no. Yeah. Which doesn't make any sense. I mean, get your money first and then get surgery? That doesn't make any sense.
Right. And I was like, well, glad we didn't draft him because if he needed surgery, we probably would have killed him. So what we do, we have good players and then they get hurt and then they're never the same again.
Don't say that. Not Nick Young there. Don't say that.
There's a guy on the Las Vegas Raiders named Divine Diablo. Whoa.
That's my stripper name.
They were like, your last name's Diablo. We got to do something to counteract that. Divine. I like that guy needs to blow up. I like that name. Divine Diablo.
What do you think about Christian Harris this year? So that's for the Texans. And because the Texans are so bad, their defense is not as bad as everyone was saying. But I think
we
had a lot of tackles.
I'm high on, but that's why we're high on. Like Martin and I both like Christian Harris a lot because we have this saying, you got to get your studs on the duds.
Yeah, exactly.
So Roquan Smith.
I would take offense to that, but it's all right.
Hey, I think if they do things right after next year, you guys could be in the front runners to be
if
NFC North champs. So
if Justin Fields doesn't get hurt, and that's my biggest thing, you need to go ahead and get a right guard yesterday because we have none. So if he doesn't get hurt, then we're good.
Oh, Lord, what has happened?
It's time for a walk. What are you talking about?
Just don't understand. He just totally fine. And then all of a sudden something happens and he's like, I got to bark.
He's telling us we need to go to DBs.
I think you need to keep Roquan Smith because he's still young and really good.
No, we're going to
be the cornerstone of your defense.
Whatever money he wants. We're going to give him a blank check. We're going to literally do this with Roquan Smith. Like, here's a check with our name on it. Write in the dollar amount. We're going to give that to you because we're the Bears and we need great middle linebackers.
Right.
That's just it's what we do. So you need to, when you have a great one, you don't let him go by. He's going to get whatever he wants. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
I agree.
Our problem is that we have a terrible strong side linebacker right now, and we don't have a NFL ready caliber strong side linebacker. So,
yeah, and then you need to develop your young guys like Signs and Gordon, just develop them. Get the most potential out of them, combined with the guys you have now. Plus, bring in some solid free agents, which I think you could do because you're gonna have like $100 million in cap space.
Yeah, something like 100. So it's $100 million, and then when the cap goes up, it's gonna be like $112 million. We're gonna have in cap space.
So you bring in the right free agents. I mean, I feel like, and you have good drafts. Like you could easily in 2 years, especially in 2 years, if Aaron Rodgers is going.
Aaron Rodgers goes.
That division will be open.
Well, first of all, we're gonna have a party. It doesn't matter. I mean, all Chicago's gonna be celebrating him being out of the division, and
you're like, "Hey, our owner retired." Woohoo!
unfortunately, that could work both ways because our owner, Virginia McCaskey, could also be going too at the same time. It's going to take I don't know. It's going to take a hit on the team. So we'll see. We'll see what we can do. I feel like
getting
the other
back to
shoes going to
these
drop.
linebackers, it's crazy. Bobby Wagner's all the way to 12. I'm like, dude's been like the number.
But does
one
that not make
linebacker.
sense though? No, but it doesn't matter though. I mean, because I think these are also not just fantasy, but I think they're also looking at dynasty leagues too. So if you're looking at dynasty, why the hell would you want to buy Bobby Wagner?
Isaiah Simmons is 13. That's crazy.
You think that he would have a lot great numbers, you know? Because I mean, Atlanta's terrible. You only got one good player. You might as well. That guy's going to be great. I mean, I don't know. We'll see.
It's interesting though, Isaiah Simmons for Arizona, 13. Interesting. They must be thinking he's going to be good this year. Oh, there's Dion Jones. I think he could be a sleeper linebacker for the Falcons. Again, got to get your studs on from your duds.
What else?
Shaq Thompson's usually good. Cole Holcomb at 17. Wow, that's kind of high.
That's why I saw the Kobe Dean's at 23.
Yep, Kobe Dean. That's why I said Devin Lloyd was 22, but he's a rookie. So,
and Patrick Queen on Baltimore.
Bobby Okereke, I think, could be a guy to watch out for on the Colts. He kind of came up out of nowhere last year.
You think it's going to hurt them losing their defensive coordinator, though?
Maybe. I don't know. They'll probably bring in somebody who runs basically the same system. It's usually what they do. Or they'll promote somebody from within who runs.
He took all their people with him. He took like everybody with him.
Did he? He took like all the coaches too? Oh,
yeah. Like, he took everybody. He was like, look, you come with us.
Where did he go?
To Chicago. Eberflus.
Oh, he went to Chicago. Interesting.
Yeah. That's why I think, and that's why a lot of people from Indianapolis came to the Bears, even player-wise. I think Eberflus is going to keep our defense okay because of that. But I wonder how that affects.
Oh, you got 2 linebackers in the top 30. Cardinals.
Cardinals do?
Yeah, Zane Collins, 27.
Oh, he is right there below. I didn't see it.
And then also another second-year linebacker who I think could have a good year is Jock from Cleveland. Jeremiah Owusu Koromoa. He's on my team too. I got the linebackers in the draft last year.
Obviously, I'm like, man, what?
Yeah.
I mean, linebackers defense. Good.
So, I don't know. That's about it for the linebackers, I think.
What do you got for DBs then?
Martin's boy seems to be.
Oh yeah, Gus Bradley's in Indy right now. Yeah, Braden, you're right. Gus Bradley went to Indy now.
Oh, that's right. Gus Bradley is in Indy. I think they'll be fine. Gus Bradley's pretty good. I got Jeremy Chin at number 1.
And I have Derwin James. Which I like Jeremy Chin, don't get me wrong. So
who did these rankings? This is nuts. Nick Cross is 6.
Where do you have Jamal Adams?
He was here. Jesus. 37.
I'm looking at Fantasy Football Dynasty rankings right now and literally have Jamal Adams as 2.
Yeah, I must be on something nuts. This is crazy. Well, they have freaking Nick Cross, a 3rd-round draft pick from Maryland, as 6 for the Colts. I was like, okay, that's not happening. Yeah, I was like, Kyle Hamilton at 9. I'm like, that dude's not sniffing the field this year. I got to go to a different side. They don't know what they're talking about.
So I'm gonna go
All right,
over
here
my
we
top
go.
10 real quick. I got
This
Derwin
seems a
James
little
1.
better. Yep,
Oh, what you
Derwin
got?
James. I got Derwin James 1, Jamal Adams 2, Poyer, and then Buda Baker.
I like both of those.
Yeah. And then that's tier 1. And then you got tier 2, just Jeremy Chin, Kevin Byard, who's actually pretty good, Mika Fitzpatrick, Harrison Smith, Justin Simmons, Kyle Hamilton 10. Man, I get the
Wow,
steal in the
really?
draft. Why do these people think so highly of Kyle Hamilton? Okay, all right, I'll take it. Maybe I don't want to put him on the taxi squad.
I got Kyle Hamilton as 12 right now.
Yeah, that's a lot higher than I didn't think he was going to really sniff the field this year, but maybe I don't know. You got Logan Ryan and Antoine Winfield, 2 safeties from Tampa.
I have Antoine Winfield
Juwan
a lot
Baker
higher.
or Jerome Brisker, Chicago. 13.
That's because he's going to have a lot of things he's going to be able to defend. For fantasy football numbers, yeah, he has a good chance.
Number 15, Tyron Matthew, the highest rated safety in Madden 23.
Wow. Well, come on. We know Madden's ratings doesn't make any sense anymore.
No.
Tom Brady is the top-ranked quarterback. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Two years in a row MVP. Aaron Rodgers is only at 94, but Tom Brady's at 97.
Like, come on, guys. You guys are just fans, huh? You're just a fan. All right, whatever.
See? And then look, even Braden was like, how is Zayvon Collins there? Jock started to get it figured out last year. Yeah, he did. I'm excited for Jock. Bolton.
What do you have on your list? Where do you have Jesse Bates? I'm just interested.
Oh, yeah. I kind of skipped over him. Let's see. Jesse Bates. Lord, why can I not find Jesse Bates? Jaylen Ramsey, 20.
Wow.
That's to be expected. No one ever throws his way. That's why it's hard for him to get points.
I can't even see. I don't have Ramsey on here at all. Little Peppers.
Wow, 56. But I think it's because, he's at 56 and he has an arrow pointed way down. But I think it's just because of the uncertainty around him.
Yeah, probably click on it and say,
I'm sure if
where is he going to play?
I'm sure if he, had a team, he'd be a lot higher.
So it says right here, the Bengals and franchise tag safety Jesse Bates III have made zero progress towards a long-term deal. The two sides have until 4 p.m. the deadline today at 4 p.m. To come to agreement, but all signs point to being an unlikely outcome.
I thought that was like Friday.
So this must have been Friday when they.
Yeah, they did not come to an agreement. Yeah, Braden, you had 2 linebackers or 2 linebackers in the top, like 26, 27. I don't know how Isaiah Simmons is 13. It's nuts. Figure out where these people are. Although I realize I have ESPN for the defensive linemen, Fantasy Pros for the linebackers, and Fantasy Football Today for the corners. So switch it up.
Yeah, that's good.
See different people's outputs on things. It's interesting sometimes.
I'm surprised you guys had Winfield so low. Antoine Winfield, I thought it was almost a top 5er.
You know what's crazy? Rookie years, if you compare Cam Curl to Antoine Winfield Jr., Cam Curl had a better year.
Really?
Yeah. But unfortunately, they had like their 3-way rotation last year, so his production went down.
Don't get me wrong. Cam Curl's in my top 10 still, so I don't want to seem like you're not, liking him. Yeah. I appreciate him, so. Do you see anyone in there that's going to have a meteoric rise? Someone that you think is going to have an unbelievable year?
Oh, look, there's Micah Hyde. I don't even see Cam Curl on here. Am I blind?
He got to be there because I'm looking at 10 right now. Like, do you think Von Bell rises crazy because no Bates?
Well, not just Von Bell, but the rookie that they drafted to replace him. Dang, Sante Samuel's way down there. Wow. These people are not high on. There's a Michael Carter. There's 2 Michael Carters on the Jets.
No.
Cornerback, Jets, Michael Carter II.
What?
Yeah. Michael Carter II, a cornerback for the Jets. That's nuts. But I don't know. Meteoric rise at corner. I think Trayvon Diggs will have a downfall. I don't think he'll be able to do what he did last year.
I think that's a given. I think that's why Dallas is not my top 5 team defenses, because I think that there's going to be something that's going to come out. I mean, Trayvon Diggs got lucky, but he got burnt a lot, So that's going to come out.
You know who I think could have a meteoric rise? Who'd be really good this year? Lewis Sines from Minnesota.
Sines from Minnesota, yeah.
I heard some crazy things about him in training camp or OTAs. I guess they challenged him to be a leader, and he took that and ran with it, and he was more than they even expected. He was directing other defenders in practice, and you need to go here, you need to go there, and I'm like, for a rookie, that's insane.
Can you do it during the season? That's what I want to know.
That's what we'll have to see, but I just think it's interesting that they put that on him when you already have a safety named Harrison Smith sitting right there. I'm like, why are you gonna put that much pressure on the kid? Got freaking all-pro safety Harrison Smith right next to him.
They give it to him during, and then they'll take it away during the season and just kind of groom him slowly.
Right.
Patrick Surtain will skyrocket, huh?
Oh, Patrick Surtain as well. Yes, he looks phenomenal. Already has pick sixes to his name. He could be the next. He could be this year's Trayvon Diggs probably.
All right, and who would be the DB that you would say is it's the best in the NFL right now, but no one throws to him because they're afraid of him?
That'll be Jaylen Ramsey, hands down.
Is it still Jaylen Ramsey?
I think so. I think that they were doing some interesting scheme things last year, the Rams were, and Ramsey was actually making a fantasy impact, but then towards the end of the year, they stopped. So, I don't know. We'll have to see.
Because I felt like he started to get receivers getting behind him. He started to get, almost like he lost a step a little bit. And it happens so quickly, and you don't know, you blink of an eye, all of a sudden, these guys who are just unbeatable, all of a sudden, lose it. No longer Reeves Island. It's now Reeves Peninsula because you can run right up the coast. I mean, just,
what happens?
It happens. And
seems like they're shut down. Oh, can't do anything. And that, unfortunately, it does happen. I think it's because people make adjustments and they see little by little things that you kind of let slip, or oh, maybe this is his weakness, and they exploit.
Exploit it.
That then to counteract that, and if you don't do that, then you're just gonna disappear. And I think some people just rely on always being able to do the same thing, and then when they have to change it up, they suddenly can't adapt, and they're like, oh crap.
I mean, but he's lucky because he still has Aaron Donald. So no matter what, you're not going to have any.
Look at Braden coming to the defense of a Ram player.
What? Yeah, 2 bump shoulders. You don't need shoulders.
Yeah, shoulders don't explain how people were getting behind. That's his legs.
That's fun.
Do you have any linebackers that can kind of
jump it?
Yeah. I mean, I think Jordan Brooks. I mean, I know a lot of people have him ranked high, but I don't think a lot of people know who Jordan Brooks is, though. And I think people are like looking at these rankings and like, who the hell's Jordan Brooks?
Well, that's how I felt like about Roquan Smith last year. That's where everyone was like wondering, like, who the hell is Roquan Smith?
Yeah,
like,
well,
he's only the best linebacker out there, not named.
Yeah. I was gonna say I heard of Roquan Smith, but I guess you count me as like a casual fan.
Exactly.
Like I've known who Roquan Smith was since he got drafted. Like that guy exploded on the scene his rookie year, and I was like, oh, this guy, freaking good.
This year I sprained both my AC joints. He said, crazy, both of them. So I played half the year, probably 10 games with 2 AC joint sprains, both of them gone. Is that the reason why you couldn't run with the guys? Chase your,
I mean, I guess you can't get your arms. I don't know.
I mean, I didn't see him run. Oh, no.
How are these things like coming out now? Like, do these people just like not testing their players for injuries? Because that was not on any injury report, I don't think.
But if you don't say anything, like a lot of players I know would go see their own doctor and not see a team doctor and not tell the team because they don't want to be sidelined.
Like the whole Tom Brady thing last year or 2 years ago, where he played the whole year with like a torn RC or whatever, not the ACL, but a different joint in the knee.
It was like a sprained ACL or something like that, LCL or something like that.
Is it RC? Is there an RCL? Is there an RCL? I don't know. It was like the third one. It wasn't the first or second, but it was like the third one.
You have ACL, you have MCL, you have LCL. I don't know.
Oh, MCL, I think. I think it was the MCL. He had like a freaking torn or sprained MCL, and he played the whole year on it. And I'm like, how do we not know this?
Because he doesn't move.
I know, but you still think something like that should be on an injury report. And I heard that the Bucs were getting investigated, but nothing, I think, ever came of it. But
yeah, Tom Brady would just say it was me.
It was MCL. Woo! I knew it wasn't the ACL. And I'm making up bone ligaments with RCL, whatever that is.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure LCL is the only other one.
Yeah, I was like, I know it's a different letter. I just don't know which one. But I don't know. I'm excited to see some of these defenses. Buffalo Bills like really excite me.
I'm just excited about this whole training camp coming out this week. Like we are already at NFL. We're at football right now. Do you realize we're not going to have another Friday until February without some type of football going on?
I know. It's gonna be great. Football's back. And then we'll have Madden out.
Yeah, with Tom Brady being the best. Well, you did say every CL you could think of.
I did.
That's awesome.
I did.
All right, so I'm pretty much done with everything.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about the guillotine league?
To Braden, who's already in it.
Yeah, it's only to Braden. Says we already.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say Braden's the only one watching.
Us three are the only one. We already in it. So
right. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. You can win a jersey in case you're watching this at a later date. Join it. I'm actually excited for that one, to be honest.
So right now we only have 10 people right now, right? So we still need 8 people.
Yeah. Well, it'll get filled because as soon as we give the green light to the get right guys, that thing's gonna fill up. We're just trying to give other people a chance to get in there right now. Because they'll be like a just draft or a non mock draft.
Mock draft?
We can join.
A real one?
Yeah, a real one. Yeah, let's do it. What we've been practicing for our whole lives. Yeah, some of those guys are really good though. So, seen some of their mock drafts. They know what they're doing over there. So, but yeah, it should be fun. It's exciting. It's every week the lowest score. I think we do get paired up in like matchups, but it doesn't really matter. It'll just be whoever gets the lowest score
Gets kicked out.
gets not kicked out, but they don't have their team anymore. You can still hang out and talk and be in the chat. It's not like you're banished. Oh, you're out. Goodbye.
Here's my question: do their players then go on to they become free agents?
Yes. So strategy wise, I think you want to be like, I know it's kind of a gamble, but you're like, I want to score enough points to move on, but I don't want to score that many points because the waiver wire goes on whoever got the second lowest becomes waiver wire 1.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's like you got to get that strategy in it a little bit to where you're like, I don't want to be 1 every week because I'm not going to get anybody by the time it gets to me.
If I could just be 3 every single time.
Right? If you could be like second or third lowest every time, like your team would be pretty stacked. And then you get to the last 2 where you're like, these are the like God squads of God squads. When it comes to that, I think is the most intriguing thing to see the last 2 teams, like what their teams look like. Like it's gonna be nuts.
That's gonna be fun. I gotta get Fredo to sign up. Then we don't have to worry about
We
have a team full of kickers.
That'd be hilarious.
That's fine.
I'm my kicker squad, guys.
And watch them beat somebody. I'll die laughing.
All right, just put all kickers in there. He won. I mean, depending on injuries and stuff, it could probably happen.
It could happen. I mean,
and it's 18 teams, so I mean, the first couple weeks are going to be rough. You're going to be like, I don't even know who this player is, but you're starting. I mean, I have a hard enough time when it's 12 teams. I can't even imagine who's going to be around in like round 4 of 18 teams.
I don't think you could do is really matchups and just hope that this team is terrible. So whoever the Bears are playing, we're just going to go for the other team's tight end, and just whatever you got.
I mean, just put it in perspective. If everyone goes running backs for 2 rounds, you're into backups by round 3. 36 picks. So by round 3, there's already 36 running backs gone. And you're like, all right.
Oh my goodness, that is crazy.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, hey, that's what I said. It's gonna be interesting, but I think a lot of fun.
Can you imagine someone have the strategy of getting like the best receiver? Or doing something stupid again, like a quarterback early, and then come back. By the time it comes back around to them,
I'm not saying that's not. I mean, to me, I'm looking at week 1 matchups, and like what players have the better matchups because I feel like looking at like Washington Commanders players like might not be a bad way to go considering we start with Jacksonville and then Texans. That's our opening 2 games. So getting a Scary Terry or Gibson or some of our defensive players might not be the worst idea.
If we're talking about running backs and talking about the Washington, I don't know, Commanders, you got scary.
Yeah, I don't know what
running backs. You just got scary running backs. Every time you I'm with somebody, I draft him or I pick him up at waiver wires, he gets hurt the next week. Every single time. I'm like,
yeah,
and you got all the talent in the world. You have like 2 starting running backs, and they're always always getting hurt. Could be worse though.
We got Brian Robinson now. Apparently, I don't know what we're doing. Drives me nuts.
Could be.
But it's just crazy because I view the draft. So you have your top spots, and then you get the draft to like help these other spots so you have a more complete team. But I feel like every year we just go in and our top like 4 picks are always positions that were already like receiver was the first pick this year. Like we already had 2 good receivers.
Yeah.
In our second round pick, defensive tackle. I'm like, we already have 2 all-pro defensive tackles. Next pick, running back. I'm like, we already have top 2 running backs. What are we doing here? We're just getting more and more stacked at one
position.
position. We're like linebacker. I wanted a linebacker so bad. Although I heard we're battling with the Cowboys to get Anthony Barr, supposedly. So
really,
I mean, and that's a linebacker I don't mind. I mean, I know he's not great, but I think he's decent.
If he's not your number one, I mean that's works. Here's my question: what's going to happen? It's so close to training camp. Like, why are we waiting now to do these things? I know what the Bears are doing. I know why we have no strong side linebackers because we're waiting for them to have to cut people off the other teams. That's we're garbage bin, scooping. Now I understand exactly what we're doing. Yeah. So,
you got cut? Come on down.
Yeah, hey, we got stuff for you.
Right.
That's why we're not trying to get anybody. We're just like, just wait for someone's gonna get cut. Someone great's gonna be cut.
I feel like that's what they're gonna say in the office. They're like coming into, or like, just so you know, it didn't work out with us. We wish you, all the best in your future endeavors. But the Bears will probably call. Exactly. So you always got that.
I think it's gonna be part of the party package. So you'll turn in.
So don't be too down. Don't be too down. You'll still find yourself on a team.
Here's an envelope. What is that? It's 2 tickets to Chicago. Go ahead.
Like when you guys brought in like almost 100 unrestricted free agents, I was like, good Lord.
Half of our team, like 60, we have 60 guys on the team right now that are either first or second year players. 60.
That's nuts.
So we're not playing anybody. I don't understand $52 million being spent on offense.
I know Detroit's at 123. I was like, how? Who's making them? I was like, golf? Is this contract that big?
Golf, they have their offensive line is expensive.
I was like, it's the offensive line.
Yeah, they have a lot.
Because I was like, receivers are all on their rookie contracts.
With Swift,
except for Chark, he's making like $10 million, I think. Swift is still on his rookie contract.
But they have who's that?
TJ Hawkinson's still on his rookie contract. I was like, who's making all this money on their offense?
That's a really good question.
I just started a dynasty on Madden 22 where I was like, I'm going to be the Lions.
They're not winning 10 games. The only way you're so
find
crazy.
It hilarious. The first thing I did was trade for Khalil Mack. Are you ready for this? Ready for this? Week 8, he has 16 sacks.
I believe it.
I was like, holy Jesus, Khalil. He's in first place for the MVP.
There you go. I got for you right now. So Jared Goff is cap hits $31 million.
So that still leaves $92 million.
Taylor Decker is 18 or 19 million.
Is that their left tackle? Okay.
Yep. Or was it Romeo Aquara is 14.5.
Is that a guard?
I think that's a guard.
I think it's a guard.
Because Jeff Okudah is $9 million.
That's their center.
Center.
And then they got Sewell, who's on his rookie contract, is the right tackle.
Same, but it's still $5.4 million.
Yeah. And
then Aiden Hutchinson is what, 6.5 million.
Well, that's defense.
Oh, that's right. TJ Hawkinson is 6.5.
See, he's on his rookie contract. I was going to say, they got all these people on the rookie contract. I can imagine what their freaking cap hit on offense is going to be when they have to try to re-sign these people.
Well, yeah. That's why Detroit's Detroit.
So they went all in on their offense. Hey, I like what they're doing. They started with their offense and defensive line and working their way out. I like it. I think that's the way you got to go.
I agree, but I just don't think they're able to do what they're supposed to do. I don't. For years now, I've seen Detroit squander. I mean, all-time greats. The best running back you've ever seen in your life, like in our lifetime. Barry Sanders is, never seen, the second round of playoffs. Megatron, never seen the second round of playoffs. They had great defense. They've had maybe Hall of Fame quarterbacks. They have always had good tight ends. They have all the talent. They just go to Detroit and fall apart because it's Detroit.
Well, I think they have a new owner, and she's doing everything she can to turn it around. I think it's a different team.
I think until she can move Detroit from Detroit, it's never going to happen.
Just pick up the whole Detroit. We're going somewhere else, guys.
Exactly. They need to do a Baltimore Colts thing.
Middle of the night. We're going.
Middle of the night. Come back. We're gonna have the Chicago Lions. Let's go for second team. They'll be on the lakefront because the Chicago will be in Arlington Heights.
Yeah, they're gonna put that roof on the Soldier Field and be like, all right, Lions, come on in.
Oh boy!
Does the mayor really think that's what's gonna? Well, we're gonna put a roof on there to keep the Bears from moving.
Part of her thing was so stupid. She was like, "We're gonna have a floating dock too, so we're gonna expand Soldier Field too, so you'll have parts that are on the water." I was like, "You don't think that's going to like be a problem when it freezes over? You don't think a moving thing? Do you not know engineering?
Yeah, right? Oh, look at these seats. It's like we are on the water."
Like, that doesn't sound right. I don't know.
That's how fast water corrodes stuff.
Exactly. Like, so you're planning on redoing this?
Like very high maintenance, very high. Especially going to put a roof on it. Like,
oh my god!
I just saw the mock-ups and it's like literally like roof. We got this guy.
Exactly. They're gonna have some helicopters come in. Right. They're gonna drop it in.
We're like Avengers style, just. I was like, that's crazy.
So how you gonna get it welded on? Iron Man's going to then come in and he's going to whatever.
And I'm like, you think that it's less costly to put a roof on Soldier Field than it would be to just make a new stadium?
and share the profits with the Bears, and then the Bears stay on the lake. But no, sorry, we'll see how that works when you get in that Chicago Fire money.
Although, I don't know, if you move to Arlington Heights, you might actually be able to throw the ball. Less wind.
Depends on if we have a quarterback. And I mean, we have a quarterback now, but it depends on how he has time. So,
yeah.
Got to see. Yeah. All right, I'm out of here.
Right. So, it's late. We're not late, but early.
It's early enough for us. Thanks, Braden, Martin, and Anthony for being in the chat.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Mark, for waking up to this morning. This is amazing.
I know. Like, man, I saw that text. And I was like, oh, no, I better get on there. I'm going to leave Brian by himself.
It would have been a half an hour episode.
Right? You would have been like, I'm going to get this done as fast as possible.
Exactly. I'm like, all right.
We're like, oh, it's the morning spike. Top 5 defenses. Top 5. Oh, bye.
See ya.
I mean, I probably would have done the exact same thing if it was me.
But all right, guys. I appreciate you guys coming in and watching.
Absolutely.
We're out of here. So we'll see you guys next week.
Yep.